Hi there. So usually I record different type of content, as you may know, or maybe not. Maybe you're new here. But usually I lean towards posting just travel vlogs of me going to Lisbon to see my long distance partner. But today I wanted to talk about something different that plays a big part in my life lately, which are finances, or rather awareness that I am getting about finances and the issue. So, as a lot of people nowadays, I do struggle with finances, with savings, with understanding of the money. I constantly complain about how I never have enough money. I'm not able to save, and that stops me from evolving as a person. I'm 27 years old now, so the vision of not having, or the reality rather of not having savings is kind of scary, because I'm not in the age anymore where I'm like, oh, I still have time to save. Now I can just work and enjoy my life, right? Most of us, or maybe not most of us, but definitely a big part of us have the attitude of I work to live. So the money that we earn, we tend to spend pretty much straight away on travels, going out, and there is nothing wrong with that. However, as long as we keep the balance. So lately, thanks to my boyfriend, I started to discover more the value of money. And I realized also myself how scary it is to wake up sometimes and I have only X amount of money on my account. What am I gonna do? What if an emergency comes up? I have no money. I will have to lend them or take a loan, which obviously it's not ideal. That being said, I really want to get an understanding of where the issue comes from and how to be better with my money. Because I made plenty of promises to myself. Oh, next month I'm gonna spend less money on this and that. However, I never was strict enough with myself, and part of the issue is that I never really put a budget for myself. I never really put boundaries for myself and my spendings. So at the end of the day, I would always end up doing the same thing, which is spending the money and living paycheck to paycheck. It's a scary vision of waking up next day and not having money for basic things. For example, what if I need to go to a dentist? I have no money for that. So to help me understand the value of money and also the importance of saving money, I started to do some research. Also, I got a book from my boyfriend about finances. This is not an advertisement, obviously. I'm not nearly even famous enough, but there is something that I would like to recommend to you guys. Is a book that is changing my view of money. The book is called The Psychology of Money, basically. This book, it's book by Morgan Housel, I believe, if I'm not pronouncing the name wrongly. So this book speaks about the investments, about saving money, but also gives you different perspective of how that works and what impacts the ability of saving. And one of the things that I learned is that actually doesn't really matter how much you earn. It's actually I believe it's still in the first chapter of the book. It doesn't really matter how much you earn. That gives you the ability of saving X amount. So there is a story in the first chapter speaking of a guy that, let's say, earns 2,000 euros a month versus someone who earns 10,000 euros a month. On paper, the person B is richer, right? They are earning 10,000 euros a month, where person A earns only 2,000 a month. Well, at the end of the day, after some time, person A had more money on their account than the person B, and that's because they had a plan. They were strict with their money, because again, you can have more money in theory and on paper when it comes to your base salary. However, what you do with that money is a different thing. So at the end of the day, with a lower income, you can still be able to save money and to be in a better position financially than someone who earns monthly more than you. Another thing that I learned from the book is that it's good to be scared of tomorrow. It's actually good. It works good for your brain to be scared of tomorrow. And again, oh, what if I have money now, but I will not have money tomorrow? What if an emergency comes up? What if I need to pay something urgently, but I don't have money for it? That brings you to the position where you have to lend money one way or another, which puts you in debt, which of course at all costs you would like to avoid. Part of an issue for me was the way that I was brought up. I'm not gonna go into details of my personal life here, but what impacted me a lot and the way that I treat and spend money is my upbringing. I didn't have much, so as an adult now earning my own money, I tried to compensate myself for what I didn't have in the past. So I overspent money. I spent money that in theory I do not even have, and that is again to make myself feel better for what I didn't have. Is it right? No, but also it's not wrong. That's how your mentality may work. However, you need to realize that you can treat yourself and give yourself something that you didn't have in the past, but at the same time still be smart about the way that you spend your money and invest your money, put money on the side, be strict about it, put some amount of money every month aside and pretend that it does not exist. You're left with whatever you are once you put money aside. That's your budget. Put a strict budget put a list of how much you spend monthly on what, how much realistically you can save. On one hand, you may think that you will feel oppressed and limited with your finances. However, at the end of the day, after some time, you will look at your account, you will see the amount that you saved, and you will be relieved. You will not live in stress, at least, of course, not the stress of not having money. It will make you feel much better. For example, myself, I see how my mood changes and my motivation changes depending on how much money I have on my account. Towards the end of the month, because of my spendings, if I do not have much money left, my energy, my motivation is low. But once I get paid, I wake up full of energy in totally different moods. So it really does affect the way we feel. To restrict yourself, it's also good to treat yourself, but with the things that you actually do need. So what I'm trying to do now before I buy anything, and it's not even regarding buying clothes or trips, but even groceries. When I'm in a grocery store, I actually ask myself, do I actually need this thing? Do I actually need to buy 3 bars of chocolate? Do I actually need to buy Coca-Cola? No, I'm fine with water. Like, it's actually fine. And that's actually one of the things that I realized maybe a month or two ago. Like, I'm actually fine with water. I do not need to spend money on juice or any flavored soda. It's not really needed. It's not a necessity to me. It's an option. And it's a choice. So I make a conscious choice of buying only things that I actually do need to survive. I do not overspend. I do not buy things that at the end of the day I do not need. They're just an addition to my life that is not needed. I'm gonna continue with my journey. I still have more than a half of the book to read, but honestly it's already changing my perspective and my view of money. So I would really recommend you doing the same. Would be really nice if you hit the like, subscribe, leave a comment, and stay with me, because I'm definitely gonna post more about my financial journey, but also about other aspects of life. It's not gonna be only travel vlogs. I also want to talk about things that, you know, involve all of us, and that the struggles that we all have, but maybe sometimes we feel too ashamed to talk about it, or maybe sometimes we just need someone else to say out loud their perspective, their experience, to be like, hey, I can actually relate. It's good to know that there is someone else that has the same struggles, the same experiences as me. I'm not alone in this. So yeah, please stay with me, and I will see you in the next one.